Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is doing well. I'm doing well myself. Welcome to all the first timers. My name is Magaly. Feel free to subscribe. Actually, yeah, go ahead and subscribe and make sure you hit the notification button so that you will always be notified every time I post a new video. In today's message, I'll be answering a question that I was asked a few weeks ago by someone on IG. She asked me, it's like, how can a young woman level up in a way that honors God? And I figured this was a very important question, a very good question. I remember that I also was asking myself this question like a few years ago. It's like, how can I, just make it, in a way that honors God? Because all of us, we want to make it. If you're a woman and you're here and you're watching, you know for sure that something inside of you always tells you that you have to make it, and you want to make it in a way that glorifies God. How do we young women of this generation make it, in a way that glorifies God, in a way that we still, hold each other, carry ourselves with dignity and with so much, respect? How do we, get to that? How do we make it? So this is such an important question. Please, you have to watch it all the way, okay? Because I have 18 ways that I wrote down that as young women can follow these steps, these guidelines to make it. Because it's possible. It is possible to make it God's way and do it big God's way. It is possible to level up God's way, okay? So Proverbs chapter 16 verse 3 says, commit to the Lord whatever you do, and He will establish your plans. Like, God wants us to commit. God wants us to have dreams, goals, and ambition. He wants us to have that, actually. But whenever we have those plans and we don't include God is when we can go so far, but if we include God and we ask God for guidance and wisdom, then He will lead us in the right way. He will lead our steps and we will succeed. All our plans, your goals, your ambition, you want to level up, you want to achieve success, you want to achieve your goals, commit all that you do to God. So that will be my number one thing, is that commit all your plans to God. Whatever you do, and that's why I came to number one. The number one is prioritizing your personal relationship with God. So you want to, as a woman, if you want to level up, you want to prioritize your relationship with God, and you do not want to depend on anyone else to have a relationship with God for you. You do want to have that personal relationship with God, because that's the one you go to Him for advice, you go to Him for guidance, you go to Him for strength, you go to Him for wisdom, you go to Him for everything, and He leads you. Honestly, it's one piece of advice I will give to any young woman out there, is like, please take your relationship with God seriously. Take your relationship with God seriously, because with Him, He is the source of everything. Like, out of Him, like from Him came everything that we see, literally. So having that relationship with Him and depending on Him and asking Him to guide you, you will never lose. You will never lose. And let me tell you, I have seen so many. I have so many receipts for that. You will never lose if you're ordered by God. Number two is establish a vision and commit to taking actions. So if you want to level up, you want to have a vision. And you don't just want to have a vision, you want to commit to taking actions, because just having ideas with no execution, it's just really, you don't want to just be the person that talks but never does anything. So you want to walk the talk. So you want to have the works to back up what you're saying. So have a clear vision of where you want to go. And then, by the way, another thing the reason why we gotta have a relationship with God is because every time God gives us a vision, it is a vision that is not self-centered. It is a vision that is not selfish or comes from. It is not a vision that is motivated from pain or from that just proving something. The vision God gives you will never benefit you by yourself. It will always benefit others. There's always going to be others included. They're all going to benefit. It's not, God does things in a way that we share. So God's vision, if your vision is just around you, then that vision is too small. Your vision has to be bigger than you, and your vision has to include others as well, because at the end of the day, we are all here to help each other, to really learn from each other and help each other, to share God's blessings. The reason why it's important to commit to the action as well, because listen, women, you guys have to get out that idea of somebody's gonna help you, you gotta depend on somebody to do it. No, actually, women, this is a thing, like, people will only come to help you when they see you do something. So faith without works is dead. You really want to put that in action. If you have a vision, put it in work, and also use what you have. Use what you have, and don't be desperate to want to do things that you don't even have the means to. You don't have the means for, because then you will start making bad decisions. So you want to use what you have, and you want to trust God to lead you, and you don't want to move from desperation, and you don't want to be lazy as well. So you want to be willing to humble yourself enough to actually put it in work. Number 3 is take ownership of your life and oversee your destiny. Take ownership of your life. Like, ladies, we have to stop thinking that your future or your life in someone else's hands. No, your life is in your hands, okay? You are, apart from God, you are in charge of your destiny. So that's why a vision is needed. You need to actually write it down, write your vision down, and then make a plan, set up some goals, like daily goals, weekly goals, monthly goals, and then you can go all the way, a year goal, 2 years to 10 years. But really, that comes from seeing that your destiny, God gave you this life. Like, you are here for a reason, and your destiny is in your hands. You have to take ownership of your life. You don't want to put your future in someone else's, hands. Then you will always be disappointed. So I know that, especially as women, we carry on, as you move forward in life, you get married, you become one with the husband, then he's the one that becomes the head, which is how it's supposed to be. But you want to be the woman that's also holding something, that is bringing something to the man, that is bringing something to the marriage. 2 glasses that are full are better than one glass and then the other one is half full. So you want to bring something. You want to be a blessing, not a burden. You don't want to come in a marriage to take. You want to come in to be a suitable helper, to be a support, like to support your husband, to be a team, to work together, not just coming in with an entitlement mentality. No, bring something. As he brings something, you bring it together. You all help each other to grow and to be better. As you help, actually, everything that God trusted you with it's all for the good of the marriage, to support, to be a helper, of the man, of the. Anyway, that's a topic for another day. But every time, because you have women who think that, oh, I'm not gonna do anything, I'm just gonna see it, I'll get married to a rich man, or I'm gonna find a man who's gonna take care of me. Let me tell you, you don't want to depend on others. You don't want to depend on others. You want to be in a position where your destiny is in your hands, your future is in your hands. And if you happen to have a partner, a life partner, it's a partnership. It's not a burden. You are each other's blessing. I guess, again, that's how just a few things. I'm answering this question purely out of love, and if I'm wrong, guys, I don't know it all, correct me. And if somebody is watching this and you have another answer, you have another idea, feel free to leave comments down below, okay? Because you guys be watching my videos, but you don't leave comments. I don't know, like, what's up with that? What is up with that? Okay, so anyway, number 3 is, ladies, if you want to level up and you want to make it in life, you have to learn. You have to guard your heart. Guarding your heart is so key. Just like the Bible says, like, out of our hearts is where all our issues lie. So ladies, it is so important to guard your heart. Make sure you keep things like jealousy and envy and competition, just those things, keep them away. Because if you're moving, you're doing things in your heart, you have bitterness, you have anger, you have unforgiveness, or you're just really reckless and naive, you easily trusting everybody just like that, then you always gonna find yourself in like situations that you don't want. So you want to guard your heart. You want to be cautious in everything that you do. You want to ask God to lead you when it comes to even personal, like let's say for example, when it comes to romantic relationships too, you want to guard your heart. You don't just want to jump in anything that you just see just because somebody is showing interest or you seem to have. No, you want to really guard your heart, because your heart, honestly, like if your heart is not in the right place, it's gonna be hard to make the right decisions. So number 5 is develop a strong work ethic and focus on your goals. I cannot tell you how important it is for a woman to have a strong work ethic, because especially in these days that we are living in, it's important to have something, a career of your own, something like, it's important to have something, a skill of your own, right? If you have, invest in yourself. Make sure you have something that, like, you focus on something, like find out one thing that you're really good at, fine tune it and make sure you make it happen. So focus on your goals too, like whatever goals that you have, you're trying to achieve, focus on it. Because if you begin to focus on other things that do not actually align with your goals and your purpose and your plans, then you're going to derail, you're going to lose focus, then you're just going to be distracted. So you want to focus on your goals, and sometimes focusing on your goals, it requires you to say no, it requires you to even sometimes be alone, it requires you to even look crazy to your friends, but you have to understand that all of these things don't matter. So you have to understand that in order to achieve something, there's a price to pay. There's a price for everything. You gotta pay a price. So number 6 is figure out what you're lacking and where you're at. Most of the time, the only way to figure out what you're lacking and where you're at, it requires you to be still. It requires you to do some self-reflection, evaluating yourself. That means you're gonna have to ask yourself uncomfortable questions, okay? That means you have to be still, and for the first time in your life, you have to just maybe find time where you don't go certain places, you don't go out anymore. Just take that time to really get to know who you are and understanding what it is that I lack, where I'm at, and what am I trying to achieve. You will never answer those questions if you don't have a relationship with God and you don't have a relationship with yourself. And in order for you to have a relationship with yourself, you have to learn how to be alone and be comfortable with your own company. And that's when everything starts unfolding. That's when God starts even downloading revelations, like amazing things to you. Number 7, I highly recommend everyone here, if you're watching, find a mentor to, it's always good to have somebody who's been there before to guide you, to show you, to teach you. Somebody who's already been there, they've made the mistakes, they've learned from their mistakes, they're maybe in the lane that you're in already, and you're trying to maybe there's a connection of what your goals are and what they're doing, because I highly recommend that if you're trying to be a doctor, that it is important to go to somebody who's already a doctor instead of going to an accountant. Because don't ever ignore the importance of guidance, of mentorship in your life as a woman, please. And I highly recommend, especially as women, yes, it's good, you can find a man mentor, but make sure that person views you as a daughter. You want to find somebody who's going to guide you in a way like a daughter will guide a father would guide a daughter, or a mother will guide a daughter. I honestly I have seen where, like, my mentors, I have one of my mentors is also a man, but that relationship is strictly like a father and a daughter, because you want to be careful in just being mentored by anybody. You want to be like opposite sex, you just want to be careful, because you don't want to you don't anything, you get what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, number 8 is, ladies, if you want to level up for real, you gotta learn how to heal and let go. Like letting go, like moving forward You have to release things that you're holding on that don't hold, that does not, like there's so many things. A lot of women are holding on to things that don't want, like you're holding on to something that's already left you. Why are you holding on to something, relationships, people, things that don't serve you? You have to learn how to move forward and let go, because holding on to things like that right there is even it's an issue. Like you cannot want to level up and still holding on to the past. No, you gotta let go of the past. You move forward and heal. Healing is uncomfortable, but it's worth it, because in the process of healing, yeah, those emotions are gonna come out, but they need to come out in order to, in order for you to heal, those emotions gotta come out. So you have to be willing to be uncomfortable to get better. Release anything that has expired in your life. Why are you holding on to things that have already been expired in your life? I'm telling you, there are friendships that you have outgrown. There are conversations that no longer serve you, but you're still holding on to those things. You're still going back to those people who talk trash about others. You're still going back to people who discourage you to follow your dreams. You're still going to that man who treats you like, sis, why are you hurting yourself? Why are you going back to the man who treats you like, who does harm your self-esteem, your worth, who just, instead of building you, he destroys you? Why? Stop hurting yourself. Everything that has been expired in your life, let it go. Let it go, no matter how much you love, because sometimes the best way to love somebody or something is to let it go. It's to let it go. I have done this myself, by the way. I have done everything I'm telling you here is I am practicing this. I'm literally practicing this, and I'm seeing the results. It's working, and I want that to work for you too. Every woman that is watching this, I want you guys to please know that God has a great plan for you, but he needs your cooperation. If you want to level up and represent Christ, you gotta follow his instructions though. Like there's no such thing as trying to do it your own way. Like I've done it my own way before. I've tried it my own way, and let me tell you, let's not go there. Number 9 is evaluate your life. That pretty much the similar way, like the same, like I was saying it earlier, like reflection, self-reflection. Evaluate yourself. What you need in your life and what you don't need. What stresses you? What doesn't stress? Like what brings you peace? What disturbs your peace? What makes you better? What makes you laugh? What makes you happy? Evaluate and realize everything that is not, that doesn't make you a better human being, that doesn't make you that anything that tries to get in the way of your relationship with God and the people you love, you gotta let it go. But the only way you can find out what those things are is if you take time to evaluate. If you're just going every time, you're just going with the wind. Every time somebody's there, you're there. Everybody goes there, you go with them. No, you got to be grounded. You have to be grounded. This is the time for us women to be grounded. Let me tell you, there's no time for us to waste. This is a season of queens. It's a season, like we are moving into an era of queens and kings. That's the era we are moving like that. We are moving forward. Like this new era is an era of kings and queens. And we gotta be willing to get dirty sometimes and to get uncomfortable. In order for us to see the change we want to see, we have to be the change. We have to be. My sisters, as women, if we get it together, our brothers, they will get it together. We're all going to be queens and kings if we follow God's instructions. Anyway, number 10 is carry yourself with dignity. Ladies, we have to carry ourselves with dignity. Self-respect. You got to respect yourself. You know what dignity means? It means that inner feeling, the attitude of honoring yourself, because you cannot expect somebody else to honor you if you do not honor yourself first. You cannot expect somebody else to love you if you don't have that healthy, loving relationship with yourself. Your self-esteem, you have to build your self-esteem. We have to build our self-esteem. Dignity, when you work in your when you honor yourself, you don't betray yourself, that really begins to build you inside out. Anyway, number 11 is develop a strong character. That means you have to be a woman of principles. You have to build a woman that is standing on something, because we don't want to be those women who just will fall for anything. No, you gotta stand on something. You gotta have a strong conviction and believe in it. Have character, who you are inside. Like, when people see it and when people don't see, like, you gotta be that woman of your word. Carry yourself with elegance, carry yourself with class, don't just wear whatever you want to wear. Like, don't just showing your body and doing all of that thing. For what? Why are you showing your precious body to just anywhere, or allowing anybody to just play with your body? Like, that beautiful body God created, that beautiful vessel. No. Dignity. I'm telling you, this is an era of kings and queens, and kings and queens, they have a dress code. They have a way, they have manners, they have the way they speak, they have the way they talk, the way they carry themselves. That's me and you. You are watching, I'm watching. That's the type of women. We are queens. We gotta carry ourselves like queens. So number 12 is separate yourself from unhealthy distractions. I mean, everyone's unhealthy distraction is different. So you have to figure out what it is that's keeping you from your goals, and make sure you get rid of it. Number 13 is maximize time. Let me tell you one precious thing that God gave us is time. Time, when it's lost, you can't get it back. So as women, we have to maximize, use our time wisely. That's why I was saying earlier, like, you can't be everywhere. You're not obligated to say yes to all the invitations. You're not obligated to be everywhere. You're not obligated to do everything. You gotta choose your time, like, use your time. Choose what you do, like, your time. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. Number 14 is get good with money. Ladies, we have to get good with money, okay? We have to learn how to save, invest, okay? And we have to learn how to give, be generous, because generosity is never a waste. So giving, saving, and investing, okay? It's so important. Number 15 is know your weaknesses and your strength. Listen, most people get it wrong. They think that you have to focus on your strength. No, your weaknesses are part of what makes you who you are. So you have to learn how to make your weaknesses and strength work together. It's balance. And learn how to work on those weaknesses. Find friends who are strong in those areas so they can sharpen you, because we sharpen each other. So knowing your weaknesses doesn't make you weak. It actually makes you smart. And using your strength, yes, makes you wiser, but learning how to use them both, it makes you the wisest. Okay, so know your strengths and weaknesses and make them work for you. Don't shy away. Don't just enjoy and love the best part of you. No, love the weak parts of yourself too. Embrace your insecurities. Like, all of us have insecurities. Okay, we have a thing or two that we might feel like some type of way. But listen, I guess also God is smart. He has to do that so we can stay humble. Otherwise, we're gonna be like big-headed. So, but at the end of the day, if you realize that those things are there too for a reason, they can also benefit you. So number 16 is commit to learning and investing in yourself, in your mind, and every area of your life. If you have to learn a new skill, if you have to go back to college, listen, college is not for everybody. I started and I stopped because, first of all, it's too expensive. I cannot afford to pay for college. But one thing I do is I make sure, like, I'm always reading, I'm always listening to podcasts, I'm always learning things. Like, I have different certificates. I'm always on a computer learning things. Like, I have to just continue feeding my mind, right? But if you have the means to go back to, like, to go to college and you have a scholarship, use that. maximize that. You know what I'm saying? Use it. Invest in your mind. Okay, learn things. Knowledge is one thing that can never be taken away from you, is knowledge, right? And most of these knowledge too, like there's certain things that you find something that some lessons they teach at Harvard School on YouTube. So now it's not even like you have to have a lot of money. You can literally graduate from YouTube, like YouTube University. You can learn anything from YouTube. I'm telling you guys, like, hello. Number 17 is respect yourself and respect others. You know, a lot of people think that leveling up is putting other people down. No, you're wrong. No. That actually the way you can tell someone who is really aligned, who is in harmony with themselves, is the way they treat others. Like if you are able to love even people who don't like your haters, if you're able to respect others. Because if it's one thing that you're gonna know, confident people know one thing, is that no one is better than anybody. We are all equal before God. Yes, we might be on a different path. Maybe some might be on like 10 steps ahead of us, or 2 steps ahead of whatever. Somebody's just starting, but it's the same at the end of the day. You never look down on anybody. Anyone who's in harmony with themselves, a person who is secure with who they are, they never bring others down. They never disrespect others down. They never seek to destroy or break others. So a woman, number one thing that women have to do, we have to support each other. You have to respect your sisters, other women. Stop talking trash about your sisters. Stop looking down on your sisters, thinking you're better than them. Nobody's better than anybody. Nobody. So respecting yourself and respecting others is another way of leveling up.